This is Reuters Today. Coming up, Manchester United sets IPO terms, but it may be a tough sell. And why some of London's great icons have had a makeover. We start, though, with a big day for earnings and a bad day for the banks. Profit at UBS more than halves on lower trading revenue and a big loss on Facebook's IPO. The Swiss bank cautious in its outlook, saying the global economy and US fiscal cliff are likely to hit business. Deutsche Bank also suffering, its investment banking arm posting a 63% drop in Q2 pre-tax profits. The Eurozone debt crisis being blamed for hurting client activity. And profit hit at Spain's second biggest bank, BBVA, first half net down 35%. Let's get straight to Manoj Ladwa, senior trader, TJ Markets. I guess, Manoj, it shouldn't be come as a great surprise, this, but stay away from the banks?
Yeah, absolutely. They're having a torrid time at the moment. It's one scandal after another. And what we've seen certainly with UBS's earnings out earlier today is that revenue is dropping sharply. Trading volumes have shrunk dramatically over the last few months or so. So therefore, their fees have dropped. Investment banking side is suffering. And I think it's going to be the case for the next 6 months or so.
What's going to turn this around?
Well, certainly a turnaround in economic numbers, a turnaround in global economies, and therefore a turnaround in banking. Until that happens, it's likely that volumes are going to remain subdued, and therefore fees and commissions are likely to remain low.
What are you buying right now in this market, Manoj?
Playing defensively at the moment. Certainly anything that's got a decent balance sheet, that pays a decent yield. Because in a zero or almost a negative real interest rate environment, you want to have something that is paying an income. So utilities, pharmaceuticals, still a fairly safe bet, and slowly dipping into the insurance stocks as well.
It looks like the markets are up ahead of the ECB, ahead of the Fed. Are they setting themselves up for a fall?
I think so. I think the market's pricing in a little bit too much here. And I think certainly the ECB and the Federal Reserve will hold back from pumping in more and more money at this point in time. Certainly if we see economic numbers worsening over the next few months or so, then it's likely they'll act. But they want to keep their powder dry for the time being. The markets are run ahead of themselves. We're seeing the Dow Jones up at 13,000, the FTSE at 57,000, 5,700 for instance. And these are resistance levels, so the markets will probably struggle to push higher from here unless there's a significant announcement and significant volume to follow. All right, thanks a lot, Manoj. Results also out from BP this morning. It's taken a $5 billion charge, mainly on the write-down of asset values. That's tipped it into a Q2 loss of $1.385 billion on a replacement cost basis. Adjusted for the charge, profit still missed expectations. More big earnings out of Asia. Panasonic posting a sevenfold Q1 profit gain. John Gordon joins us from Hong Kong. John, is this a turnaround story now?
Yeah, actually, it is the first black ink we've seen on the company's book on a quarterly basis since late 2010, so certainly a nice result. Just looking at those numbers, it's in part due to cost cutting, and that really means job reductions in its TV business as well as to a lesser degree the semiconductor business. Firm-wide, it's cut 36,000 jobs in the last year. This is, as you said, the biggest corporate employer in Japan. But it's not out of the woods yet. The new boss there who took over in June is set to deliver new restructuring plans, actually. He's vowed to sell or slash whatever parts of the business that can't contribute to the bottom line. That will almost certainly translate into less Panasonic TVs in your living rooms and more Panasonic batteries. I'm looking at a Panasonic TV right now. In fact, you're on it. But optimism from another big Japanese company, Toyota, right, as well? Yeah, that's right. 220,000 more cars being sold this year, according to domestic newspapers in Japan. If that report is confirmed, it would bring the broader Toyota Group sales forecast about 10 million for the year. Now, that firm has wrestled back the global sales crown from GM in the first half, at least, selling about 5 million cars. So a strong full-year result wouldn't be too surprising there. We'll get those earnings on Friday. Our StarMine model puts the according to the views of top analysts, predicts a 1.1% upside for earnings over the quarter. So I guess maybe more people are buying those lime green Priuses. All right, very good, John. Thanks a lot for that. John Gordon, Hong Kong. Other news, Manchester United has set terms for its IPO. The latest financials, though, may give investors pause. Revenue was down almost 5%, while operating expenses rose about the same. Supporters organisations have expressed concern. The latest filing seems to suggest the owners won't use all the proceeds to pay down the club's debt, as previously indicated in the filing. Olympic highlights on day 5. Michael Phelps hoping to become the most decorated Olympian of all time later this evening. Andy Murray is in action in the second round of the tennis. A tasty tie in women's soccer as North Korea face the United States.
and the Queen's granddaughter Zara Phillips in action in the show jumping. Team GB currently in the silver medal position of the 3-day eventing. That is it for now. I'll leave you, though, with some unusual new additions to London landmarks. Various statues, including Admiral Nelson in Trafalgar Square, can be seen donning some pretty snazzy new headgear. They've been designed by some of Britain's top hat makers. US President Franklin D. Roosevelt and British Prime Minister Winston Churchill there have also been given a makeover. That's it. I'm Axel Threlfall. This is Reuters.